What is going on, guys? It is your boy, Devo Swaggins, coming to you live with episode 5 of the podcast. I'd like to take a little bit of time to formally apologize for not having an episode out last week. I had 2 exams, Monday and Tuesday night, which is usually when this thing gets recorded and made, so I didn't have time to do it. I also came out of the second one feeling quite under the weather. I could feel myself developing a cold amidst the exam, which was just great for my focus. And now I have this sore throat. I don't know if my voice might be a little bit lower, but it's also a little bit sore. And you're gonna get to deal with my wonderful voice during this episode. For this episode, I thought we could discuss the horrifying experience that is growing up and getting older. When people look back at themselves when they were younger, they often are very critical about the things that they like and the things that they did, you know. Whether it be like the toys you played with, the way you dressed, the way you did your makeup, the people you hang out with. That's a big one. People are weird. I personally, I don't like to be super critical of what I did in the past because it led me to where I am today, and I think I'm pretty satisfied with where I am today. But the one thing that I am kind of becoming more and more judgmental of is the things that I didn't do when I was younger, and not even like the big things, like, you know, talking to that girl in grade 4. Or doing this and doing that, you know, the stupid things that people tweet about, you know, the one that got away, oh, the one that got away. No, like the things, the simple things in life. For me, for example, when I was growing up, I have a sister who's 5 years older than me, and she did not like tomatoes. And in order to be cool and fit in, I also didn't like tomatoes. Maybe I also didn't like tomatoes, but I'm assuming it was to fit in, because as I've eaten tomatoes when I've gotten older, I really like them. I'm sure there's a chance maybe my taste buds developed, but I'm pretty sure I was just doing it because my sister did it. Now I'm left wondering how my life would have been if I would have eaten tomatoes. I mean, I don't really mean that, but it's a good segue to present a wonderful quote that I read, which was, people shouldn't listen. Wait, let me bring up the tweet. It says we're gonna get official here. We're just gonna. Okay, here we go. It's Stephen Covey. I don't know who's that. I sure don't know. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. That is a wonderful quote. Good job, Stephen. But seriously, the gist of that is, you shouldn't go into something with your mind made up. You should go in with a relatively clean slate and be ready to take in what is about to be given to you. For example, when you eat food, you shouldn't go in there with an expectation of what it's going to taste like. If you go in there with no expectations, no idea what it's going to taste like, it's probably going to taste wonderful. There's another great quote that is, if you go into life with no expectations, you're always going to be impressed. Try not to expect too much from life and you'll generally be pleased. That's it for episode 5 of the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for coming and being so wonderful. If you have any ideas for what I can talk about in the next few episodes, feel free to do so. I'm going to be back in Kingston. If you want to record an episode of this with me, hit me up. I've been Devin Runyons, and you've been fantastic.